Hey BookTube, this is Friday Reads Catch Up. I'm Jen and I talk about audiobooks, and the one thing I do consistently is Friday Reads every week, and I haven't been able to do that for the past couple of weeks because I have had stuff and I've been out of town. Clearly I'm out of town now. I'm getting ready to go home today, which is going to be really nice. Last week I got a call from one of my daughters and she needed to have surgery, which we didn't know at the time, but she was in excruciating pain. So I flew down to kind of be the mom to the rescue, which thank goodness I have the kind of life where I can do that, you know. Sometimes your kids just need you, and I'm really grateful that I've got the kind of life that I can just drop everything and go. So I was with her, she had surgery, and I was helping her recuperate. Now I get to go home and sleep in my own bed. It's going to be great. So I thought I would kind of do a Friday Reads catch up on Tuesday, I don't know, because you know, you have a lot of time at airports to be able to sit and wait. And I thought, edit video on the plane, you know. So I thought I would go ahead and do this. I'll be back Friday, hopefully, barring any unforeseen circumstances. But anyway, I just didn't want to have a ton of books to talk about. And I thought I would just check in with you and just kind of say hi. Let me tell you what I've been reading. Not much, actually. I picked up just a couple of quick things, and I finished some things from when I talked to you last week. So first of those was Blood of Dragons, which is book 2 in the Legacy of Dragons series by Jack Campbell. That was narrated on audio by MacLeod and he was fantastic, as usual. This second book was okay. It was really a good survival story because the main character and her significant other are on the run. So it was a good story that way, and main character continues to mature and get a little more self-confidence under her belt. You know, my one complaint with that character is she does a whole lot of I'm not good enough. You know, why is it everybody expects so much of me, and I can't measure up to all of that, and I can't measure up to my mother. And then she takes charge of situations and says to, you know, the other character, the love interest, now don't be thinking that and don't be doing that. And you know, I just want to say, honey, Kira, that's her name, get over yourself. So yeah, there's still some of that going on. So it doesn't really it hasn't hit the caliber of the original series yet, but I have high hopes, you know, and it's still a good series. Don't get me wrong. I rated it 4 stars. That would be 4.5 rounded down, just because it's a good story. Jack Campbell's a great author, and MacLeod, of course, always makes it fantastic. So I finished that up, and then I also finished up Puddle Jumping. This is by Amber L. Johnson. I read that on my iPad, and that was recommended to me by Lisa at Books and Smiles, whom I love. Go check her out. She's fantastic. She reads everything, and she's really great at talking about stuff. She loves crime and suspense. That's where she and I kind of diverge, but we both like contemporary YA and romance, so yeah. So she recommended that because it has a character in it who is autistic, and I've now read 3 books, this being the 3rd, about a boy who is autistic in a YA contemporary romance. And this one probably was my least favorite of the 3 that I've read. It was okay. It was told from the girl's perspective who is interested in the boy. And he's a prodigy and he's very focused, but he doesn't, you don't get his perspective. You're not in his brain. And that was what I found so attractive about the other 2 books, was you could be in the autistic boy's brain and kind of catch how it was working and how they would miss things and why. Whereas with this one, you didn't get nearly as much of that. You got this girl, very high school, very teenage girl, looking at him and developing this relationship with him. And so it was a different kind of flavor, a different tone to the book. And I didn't like it as much, but it was still a great read. And I ended up giving that, I forget, I want to say like 3 stars. I think it was 3.5. I may have rounded it up to 4. I can't remember. But yeah, it was a decent read. It's just the other two, which were Win Some, Lose Some by Shea Savage and What to Say Next by Julie Buxbaum. What to Say Next, I think, was my favorite. Great stories. They're all 3 great stories, but those 2 probably were, I don't know, a little bit better than this one. And then I picked up just a couple of quick things because, you know, I was on the run and I had to pick up and go really quickly. I didn't know what I wanted to read. So, you know, I have Kindle Unlimited. And so I just thought, well, I'll just grab one of those because you can also grab audiobooks from that. So I already had downloaded Wife by Wednesday by Bybee. This is book 1 in the Weekday Bride series. It's adult romance and it was very light, very sweet. You expect the main character to be a certain way at the outset. She's kind of painted as a businesswoman, no nonsense. She's not messing around. And she quickly shifts into, she still knows what she wants, but she's very much in love and ruled by her emotions. So I didn't like that so much. Bybee, I haven't read very much of her. I think maybe I read a couple of Christmas stories maybe by her, or maybe one. It seems like I've read another book by her, but I can't remember what it was. But it was okay. It was just your average thing. I would say on the average scale, it was probably on the lower end of average, but you know, still average, still something to pass the time that entertained me. And it was, like I say, a decent read. So I ended up giving it like 3 stars. And then I picked up Aftershock by Jill Shalvis. This was something that I had on my iPad from long ago. Probably got it for free, can't remember. But it was one of her earlier books. It's a Harlequin romance, and it was bundled together with another book by another author that I just didn't care about. This was about 2 people who get caught in an earthquake. She's a real estate agent, and he is a fire inspector. And so little improbable in that they are in a building that kind of collapses on top of them and they think they're going to die, so they get together in a building, in a really like under a desk because they both think they're going to die. It's like, oh, let's do this one last thing, whatever. So she disappears for a year and gets pregnant. Like, big shock. You kind of know that's going to happen. As soon as I saw 1 year later, I thought, oh, she's pregnant. Yep, she is. And so it's how they work that out. So it was cute. It was one of the better early Jill Shalvis novels that I read. So I enjoyed it. It was kind of fun. It was a very quick read. So that's all I read last week, which wasn't much, really. It doesn't seem like very much for me. Maybe it was the last 2 weeks that I did. I don't know. I can't remember. But I picked up The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemison, which is book 3 in the Broken Earth series. It's narrated by Robin Miles. And to be honest, I would read it just for Robin Miles. She is so amazing. The woman, oh my God, I gotta find some more stuff she's narrated because she is so good, so amazingly good. This third book is sci-fi / fantasy. It's really more sci-fi, and it's all about an Earth that's broken, but it has a lot to do with geology and people who can manipulate the Earth in a geological fashion. And so this is the conclusion. It brings together the main character and then her daughter are converging, kind of, sort of. It's complicated, and I've got probably another 35 to 40% until I'm finished, which is nice. It's about 4.5 hours that I have to go, and I'm really enjoying it. This series takes a little while to get into. because you're kind of thrown into the world and you have no idea what's going on. And in this third book, it's been a while since I read the second book, which was called The Obelisk Gate. The first book is called The Fifth Season, and gorgeous covers on these books. Oh my gosh. So I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't really remember specifically the characters. I mean, when they would come up, I knew who they were, but they were referred to by name rather than by circumstance and name. So it was kind of, took me a few minutes to get the context, but I'm really enjoying it, and I can see where it's building to this big ending, and I really like it. So listening to that on audio, and then on my iPad, I am reading Fallen Air by Erin, which is complete soap opera trash. It's part of the Royal series. It's about this family of boys and this girl that gets adopted into their family, and they're rich. So yeah, it's okay. It's trashy soap opera romance, and this character is like, the interesting thing about him is that he can't focus. He's so ADD, and he knows that he has an addictive personality. So he fills that with other things, which are not, some are healthy, some are not, you know. And he's a player, and he has his eye on this girl that wants nothing to do with him. She kind of has a backstory that we're not really sure about. I don't know. I have a feeling this is going to be about a 3-star book, but it's going to be quick to get through. And I'm reading it with 2 other friends, Michaela from Michaela Eve Reads, and then Lisa from Books and Smiles. So just quick read, and then we can, you know, dish on all the trashy romance that happens. So that's it for right now. I'll be back Friday, like I say, with hopefully some other things that I can talk about, at least wrapping those 2 things up. I'll let you know what I thought of them. And in the meantime, have a great week, and I will see you Friday, and that's it for now for me. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.